Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive topic that sparked a ton of conversation, passion, and quite honestly, a bit of confusion in the village of Indiantown. We're looking at Project Parrot and the Tesoro Groves development. Based on a comprehensive report from Emmanuel Management Services, our one and only goal today is to separate confirmed facts from local rumors. We're going to dive strictly into the public record from late 2025 to mid-2026 to see exactly what was approved, what absolutely wasn't, and why this matters for the community.
So here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the 4 key ordinances, then look at the difference between a framework and a final plan. After that, we'll cover why that distinction matters, go over some major unresolved issues, look at 2 different perspectives on growth, and finally pose some important questions for tomorrow's choices. Let's jump right in.
All right, Section 1, the 4 key ordinances, or as we like to call it, setting the rules of the game. Between November 2025 and June 2026, the village passed 4 foundational pieces of legislation.
And we really need to emphasize the scale here. We are talking about 5,722 acres of land. To put that into perspective, that is a massive footprint. You have to keep that acreage in mind, because whatever happens here shapes this land for literally decades to come.
Okay, so how did they build this legal framework? Well, it breaks down into 4 ordinances. First up, Ordinance 01-2026. This officially annexed that 5,722-acre property right into the village boundaries. Next, Ordinance 02-2026 flipped the future land use designation over to light industrial. Then we get to Ordinance 03-2026. This is a big one. It approved the Tesoro Groves Planned Unit Development, or PUD, which is basically a zoning agreement that explicitly allows for future data processing and data center uses. And lastly, Ordinance 04-2026 updated the village's comprehensive plan, crucially including a water facilities work plan to handle future growth demands.
Moving on to Section 2, Framework versus Final Plan. This right here is the crucial distinction. This is where a lot of the public confusion actually stems from. Setting the rules of the game is totally different from approving the actual players on the field. The village absolutely did not approve a specific Project Parrot or Tesoro Groves data center final site plan. Let me repeat that. There is no approved blueprint to start pouring concrete. What they did approve was the legal container, the annexation, the land use change, and the framework that makes a future data center legally possible. The container is there, for sure, but they haven't approved what exactly goes inside it just yet.
So, Section 3. Why does this distinction matter? Specifically, who makes future decisions?
Well, it matters because it dictates your say in the future. Because this framework was approved, future site plans might actually be handled through something called administrative approval. What does that mean? It means municipal staff can just review and approve future blueprints to ensure they meet the baseline rules, totally bypassing another formal public vote by the Planning, Zoning, and Appeals Board or the Village Council. That's a huge shift in who makes the final call.
Which brings us to Section 4, Major Unresolved Issues, the missing pieces. Because so much could be moving to behind-the-scenes administrative review, we have to look at what's currently missing from the public record. During the hearings, residents constantly took to the mic. They voiced deep, ongoing concerns about transparency, protecting Indiantown's rural character, the aquifer, traffic, noise, you name it. They really wanted to know the specific impacts before the village gave away these land rights.
But if you look at the record, it's kind of like an unfinished checklist. The final signed version of Ordinance 03 and the PUD agreement, we couldn't find them confirmed in the reviewed record. Plus, hard guarantees on water, wastewater, electric capacity, traffic, and environmental impacts are all deferred. There isn't even a comprehensive study looking at the cumulative impact of all these proposed data centers together. And those promised economic benefits and local jobs, still largely unquantified in any binding documents.
And here's a real head-scratcher. The public record doesn't even clearly state the legal maximum size of the development. The documents are conflicting. Some say there's a hard 2 million square foot cap, others use this traffic equivalent cap, and some public notices even mention a 2.0 floor area ratio. Without one clear standard, it's honestly unclear exactly how massive this build-out could legally be.
All right, Section 5, 2 perspectives on growth, weighing those impacts.
Obviously, with a project this huge and with so many missing details, the community is split, and we want to balance the scale here impartially. Supporters are looking at the upside, emphasizing significant financial investment, a massive boost to the tax base, new infrastructure, and serious economic development.
On the flip side, residents are demanding careful planning. They want complete information up front, strong environmental protections, total transparency, and to preserve the rural character of Indiantown. Both are incredibly valid perspectives.
So, let's look at Section 6, Questions for Tomorrow's Choices.
As Indiantown moves forward, we have to ask some tough questions. First up, should major developments really get zoning approvals before key environmental studies and infrastructure commitments are completely locked in?
Second, considering this could be a hyperscale data center sitting on over 5,000 acres, should residents get another formal public hearing before a site plan is just administratively approved by staff?
Think about it in relatable, everyday terms. Would you ever agree to purchase something, especially something that permanently changes your neighborhood, without knowing exactly what you're getting, what it costs, and who is responsible if things go wrong down the road?
No way, right? And finally, should elected officials hand over 30-year, long-term development rights before all the final signed agreements and enforceable public protections are actually in hand and ready for the public to review?
Now listen, looking at the public record neutrally, this isn't about being strictly pro-growth or anti-growth. It's really about ensuring that whatever growth does happen is backed up by complete information, true transparency, and total accountability long before those decisions shape Indiantown forever.
Because at the end of the day, an informed community is the very foundation of good government. Understanding the framework they built today is the absolute best way for you to participate in tomorrow's choices. Thanks so much for joining me to unpack all of this. I'll see you on the next Explainer.